Bautista has already binned one this way. Massive. Oh, Cow's gone down. Like that might have been Cow's fault.
He seems to be apologising, doesn't he?
Cal Crutchlow has gone down. It looked like Bautista was bouncing in the background. Now, Bautista was still there, so perhaps he's... there's Cal, and that is Bautista. No, it wasn't.
Bradle again.
Bradle had a massive off in warm-up.
Number 99, Jorge Lorenzo.
Straight through, holds it back down, does he? No. Goes a little wide. The crowd are on their feet round here. 78,000 people as Marc Marquez parks it right in the middle of the turn. Jorge's not coming back through that. We got a race. Great.
We thought we were tatting assuming, oh well, there we go, he's gone past him. Here goes Jorge again, squeezing him on the downhill. Wonderful.
Valentino Rossi is going to be watching this, Julian, and he's going to be jealous, because this is exactly what Valentino would have done if he'd managed to be with these two. It's about snapping straight back, so you upset the rhythm, upset the momentum of the man around you.
Casanova Cervelli was where 3 years ago, Jorge, in this corner, he passed both the Works Hondas down there, not on the same lap, obviously, on about 3 different laps. He knows what to do down there. This is more like the Jorge we've been missing.
It certainly is. What's the time to doing? 48s, all top high 48s though. It's not fast times, but with 6 laps to go.
Rossi's got to getting a couple of tenths a lap on them while they're doing this.
Yeah, which will be great if he can join in, but with six laps to go, it's going to be a difficult ask, even for the like of the legend in his 300th race. Valentino along the back then of that new grandstand through this massively fast, very difficult to change direction on some of these fast left-right flicks.
I'm just more and more convinced that you were absolutely right with your diagnosis earlier. Here we go for the repass.
Yeah, the repass up the inside. He got that perfectly good. Lorenzo's always been good on the brakes though, hasn't he? It's the M1 just cuts back really neatly, and then again coming out of the left-hand side of it. Jorge in front. Marc Marquez is going to have to exactly the same again. Both of them a little bit wide that time. Jorge pulls it back onto line. So they are on the outer limits of what they are trying to do, because if both of them are running wide, that means they are both trying as hard as they can on the tyre life that they've got left.
Have we been underselling what Jorge Lorenzo has been doing so far this afternoon? Well, I think we have.
The present evidence, I would absolutely say so. In fact, what he's been doing all week.
He's looked like he was working hard. He looked petulant. He was gesticulating at his race engineer, Ramon Forcada, through practice, and Forcada, as normal, the old headmaster, waving a finger, saying, we're doing this. And that test have shown, Keith, that works for that team.
Normally, you would say that Marc Marquez had something in the locker. It's been proved so many times when you think that you can't make the pass, but having said that, normally he will have shown his hand, gone through, and had that extra pace to be able to pull out that half a second. And then once he gets into that race-leading rhythm, he manages to pull away.
We know, obviously, for the last 3 years, Jorge and the Yamaha, in these fast corners that flow, the Yamaha is suited. Is Marquez's style?
I tell you, you saw it just then. I mean, the difference between the Honda and the Yamaha there. The Yamaha was faster in one part of the turn, and the Honda was faster in the other part of the turn. Obviously, completely different horses, but on this particular course, the sum total of their efforts is very, very, very close.
Brno's another one where we'll see that later in the year. And now the big Honda slipstream.
On the outside, again, over the hill, down into the braking area. Jorge, though, lets the brakes off. Just lets the brakes off and goes straight back under him. Will he run wide? Yes, he does. So straight up the inside. Marquez learned that one. Well, that serves you right, Jorge. You showed him how to do that a couple of laps ago. Straight back at him. Rubs his shoulder. Jorge Lorenzo almost goes off the track. Marquez cuts back to the inside. We've got a duel in the sun. It is the two boys flat out at it.
You were talking about disrupting his rhythm. That disrupted it.
Disrupted mine.
And my heart rhythm, I think. Where's Valle? How far back? 2 seconds.
Too far. 2.7 seconds further back. 2.8 now further back from this battle. And really...
Make that 2.2 after that shenanigans down at turn 1.
So, that's on the split sector. I see where you're going. Yes, it is indeed. That's an indication, isn't it? They lost 0.4 of a second.
My point precisely.
Rossi, yes, I understand. but people at home haven't got a monitor and I have to pay more attention to it. So 0.4 of a second they lost through messing around with each other, and Valet closed in. It's the only chance he's got, it would seem.
Another shout for Iannone, fifth. He's just retaken fifth from Pol Espargaro. Great ride from Andrea Iannone.
Scott Redding is in 12th place. Pirro is in front of him now, has moved ahead of him, so Scott Redding has dropped to 12th. Meanwhile, back at the front, Jorge Lorenzo versus Marc Marquez. What a duel this is now between these two boys.
And Jorge has shown that he's going to do exactly what you said. Don't give him any distance. Next corner, go back, no matter what it takes.
Marc Marquez had his opportunity to try and make a break. He hasn't been able to. He's got a proper fight on his hands. I think he'll relish that, of course. At the end of the day, when you win a race, you want to win it against the best people in the best possible way. Once again, the Honda calls to the outside, but once again, you'll probably find that Jorge, now he moved him across then at that particular point. Wait for Jorge on the brakes. Static this time. Does Marquez run wide? Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Jorge comes to the inside now. They almost touched. It's going to be Marquez, though, into the next turn up the hill, the left-hander.
Oh, dear me.
Second gear corners. You can still spin them up pretty big time in second gear. Wheelie out of the corner. I tell you, that's traction control normally deals with all of that.
Jorge, have you let him stay in front too long?
I don't think so. I think Lorenzo has the pace to stay with him. It's just a question of whether he has the will to grit his teeth as hard as he's going to have to. Because, again, as we drop down right to the very bottom of the course now, Arrabbiata, 100 mile an hour, 95 at the top of the hill or thereabouts, up to about 135 mile an hour on this little short shoot over the hill, and then back into second gear, 70 mile an hour. Dropping down the hill now, 80 mile an hour through this left, and then it's still dropping down the hill into the horseshoe.
Jorge?
Not quite. Can't quite get him forced under there. I'll tell you what.
Oh, really?
He made the space, and Marquez had to move over through that long right-hander at 70 odd miles an hour. They were together then.
Rossi 1.6 back now.
Yeah, he'll be closing.
Surely, if Jorge had let Marquez onto the front straight first, that might have been it.
Yes, I agree with you, Jules. Absolutely agree with you. That would have been the crucial point in the race where Jorge, if he didn't snap straight back, and it didn't look like he was on to me, I must admit. Onto the front then. Again, the Honda will drive alongside the Yamaha, but the Yamaha on the brakes at the end is in a perfect place for making sure Marquez can't keep it.
Oh, of that!
Yeah, and if he's got him well on the outside, but again, they both run wide. Jorge pulls it back to the apex. This is just a duel. A brilliant, magnificent time in Mugello for both these men. Fantastic. We've not had a MotoGP race this good in a long while.
This is what world champions do, like Jorge Lorenzo. You come back from the despair, and I use that word advisedly, of the start of this year, and you do this to Marc Marquez around Mugello.
Marc Marquez.
Wow.
Still working out whether he's got it in him with 1.5 laps of Mugello to go, 5 miles or thereabouts. You got to say that if Marquez manages to get by and he's on that front straight in front, he might just have enough pace to stay in front of Jorge Lorenzo.
Yep.
But he's got to get something done before Lorenzo gets out onto the front straight.
We've seen what Lorenzo is prepared to do to stop him getting onto that straight first.
Which is exactly, when we talk back to Le Mans, what Valentino wanted that opportunity. And in the end, it was a mistake by Valentino that let Marquez through, and he just couldn't get back in touch with him again.
I'm going for the heart pills. The last lap is coming up.
Yeah, good, isn't it?
What a place this is. What a race this is.
Might be a lower amount of people here at trackside, but they're going to wish they came, that's for sure. Anybody that didn't turn up here at Mugello.
77,463, the official number.
Last corner of the penultimate lap. We are moving on to last lap territory. This is where Marc Marquez must make his challenge. His brother is sat there, and they're all biting their teeth as well. They might do. Onto the front straight, past the end of the pits end, and into the braking area. Jorge will go and try it. Well, he can't, because Marc Marquez, either he's gone in there so mega hot he's never going to stop it. That's exactly what he has done, but he still manages to find and blast up the hill. It's where the Honda's good, isn't it? Second gear all the way through here. Now then, it's all going to be down to whether Jorge Lorenzo has got anything at all left in that fight.
Best lap, personal best lap of the race for Jorge, last time round.
Got the feeling What was I saying about team managers slapping riders, putting their best laps in at the end? We won't blame them if it is Marc Marquez who sticks his personal best on this lap, will we? Because the young kid really is trying now. Big black line as he ran down into the right-hander there. Jorge Lorenzo, there's not much time left. The only place he can probably get close enough after Arrabbiata, it's up towards, what's that chicane called? I'm trying to work
Which one, Biondetti or Correntaya?
It is this one at the top here of the hill.
Scarperia.
Scarperia, that's the one. Thank you very much, Jules. I never could say it and I couldn't even work out which one it was then. He's there already, hasn't managed to get it under him.
What about the right-hander at Correntaya, who he overtook before?
He might well be able to, but it's just that little extra gap that they've got between them now. You can say that Marquez has got the hammer down here really massively. He knows that if Lorenzo manages to squeeze under, he might not have anything left in the locker. If Lorenzo gets by, that'll be it. And I think that's done it. Lorenzo ran a little wide there. Marc Marquez looking so good now. Marc Marquez on the run into the final flag here at Mugello. Has he judged it to perfection? Has Jorge Lorenzo got anything left at all? Will he be able to get round the outside? I doubt that, but he's looking for the power now. He feeds it in, he feeds it in. He will try and get in the slipstream of Marc Marquez, but Marc Marquez and the RCV 213 has made it over the line. In front it is Marc Marquez again from Jorge Lorenzo and Valentino Rossi. Honda